Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Robert Sullivan. I'm mayor of the city of Brockton, our city of champions. I want to thank you all for being here today. I welcome you. The city of Brockton is 106,000 residents. We're diverse, we're inclusive, we're welcoming. And today we proudly welcome Governor Healey here today, along with the Colonel of the Mass State Police. We just had a wonderful, wonderful roundtable. But first of all, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize this unbelievable building that we're in. It's our new $150 million public safety building. It's state-of-the-art. It's police, fire. IT is going to leave Brockton High School to free up 5 classrooms. And it's also Brockton Emergency Management, BEMA. We just had a phenomenal soft opening in this building. The official opening is 2 weeks from tomorrow. We had a roundtable with the governor, with the colonel. We had partners from Plymouth County, Bristol County, Barnstable County, Norfolk County. It was best practices. It was ideas. At the end of the day, it's a collaborative approach. We need to continue to work together. Again, I really want to thank the Healey-Driscoll administration. The fact that the governor is a former AG, the fact that the LG is a former mayor, that is a winning formula. But everybody around that room had a common purpose and a common goal to try to minimize and eradicate crime, really hardcore violence. Unfortunately, yesterday at 4 o'clock, broad daylight, we had a handgun murder 1 block from City Hall. And as the mayor and as a guy that grew up in the city of Brockton, it's appalling, it's tragic, it's sad. But as a parent of 3 children, I was actually at a streetlight with my 15-year-old daughter taking her home from high school practice when we heard the 6 shots. And she turned to me and said, "Dad, were those gunshots?" And so today, I need to say that I am a mayor that's closing up my tenure. I will not be running for re-election. But at the end of the day, I'm not leaving Brockton. And so we need to continue to work together. We need to continue to keep the proverbial eyes on the prize, roll up the sleeves, work together, not just with law enforcement, community activists, but our clergy as well. We have a duty. We have a fiduciary duty to make sure that the next generation, the youth in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, no matter where you live in the 351 municipalities, have a safe community that they can live in and work in. So it is my honor to stand here today with our partners, our elected officials, our state delegation, my Chief of Staff, Sidney Merrill, my Police Chief, Brenda Perez, my City Solicitor, Megan Bridges, but our Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the esteemed Honorable Maura Healey.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Sullivan. Thank you, everyone. We convened earlier today to discuss with public safety leaders what we can do to strengthen the work that we do across the state and across this region of our state. I was honored to be joined today by Massachusetts State Police Colonel Jeff Noble, who you'll hear from shortly, and other members of the state police. We had members from district attorneys' offices, including DA Galliboy, DA Morrissey, as well as members of the Plymouth County and Bristol County district attorneys' offices. We have Chief Perez of Brockton, Chief Del Monte of Bridgewater, and other local law enforcement leaders. From our administration, we have our Deputy Secretary for Public Safety, Sue Terry, our Undersecretary for Law Enforcement, Gina Kwan, and Executive Director Kevin Stanton of the Office of Grants and Research. And from the legislature, Senator Mike Brady, Representatives Plouffe, Du Bois, and Mendez are here with us today. The mayor acknowledged the fatal shooting yesterday afternoon that happened in this great city, and the fact is that law enforcement were on it and are still active in their response. It's tragic for the victim and the family. 1 shooting, 1 death is too many in this state, and that's why we're here today in solidarity to make sure that we are having the very active and real conversations about how we can strengthen even more the relationships between and among law enforcement and keep our communities safe. Even though Massachusetts is one of the safest states in America, we need every community to experience that. And any homicide, any shooting is 1 too many. And what that means, and I speak not only as governor, but somebody who was former attorney general and a former prosecutor. It's all about partnerships. It's all about collaboration. And I can tell you from the conversation that we had in this room, people should be proud of Massachusetts and know that we have very strong working relationships between local and state officials here in this Commonwealth and local and state law enforcement in this Commonwealth. Conversations like the one we had today also help us understand some of the programs that are working right now in the state. One example we discussed was PSN. That's the Project Safe Neighborhood Initiative, PSN, Commonwealth PSN. And what PSN does is invest resources, dollars, to bring state and local police together in joint operations that target gang activity, firearm violations, drug distribution, and human trafficking. Specialized state police units work side by side with local departments, including in Boston, Brockton, Fall River, Holyoke, Lawrence, Lynn, Springfield, and other cities facing public safety challenges. This program also funds awards to district attorneys' offices to support prosecutions of violent crime, as well as the prevention programming that is out there. We looked at the impact of the funding and we had some new data to share. So in the first 6 months of this year, the first 6 months of 2025, those investments, those PSN investments in public safety, in coordination with and in support of local law enforcement, resulted in nearly 500 arrests, took 54 illegal guns out of communities, seized 30 kilos of narcotics, recovered more than 240,000 in suspected illicit proceeds. And that's just in the last 6 months through that one program alone. There's a ton of policing that's going on separate from that program, but it's an example of just what one program is doing, an important program that we're going to continue to support. Since 2024, that program has led to more than 1,000 arrests or summonses, seizure of 130 illegal firearms, confiscation of over 108 kilograms of narcotics, and recovery of over 600,000 in suspected drug proceeds. What this means ultimately is safer neighborhoods, safer communities, and that's what this is about. That's why Massachusetts is and will remain a leader in public safety, and we will continue to support the work of law enforcement and public safety officials. We collaborate, we invest, we're never satisfied, the work is never done. But I know that everyone here today believes that one victim is too many, and that one person whose life goes down the wrong path is one too many. And I know that everyone here shares a commitment to working together for stronger, safer communities. We support the work of the people and the teams on the ground, and it is about teamwork, answering the calls, taking dangerous individuals off the streets, doing the investigations, supporting victims, supporting witnesses, supporting our district attorneys and ADAs who are out there bringing these prosecutions, helping offenders turn their lives around, and helping young people be the very best that they can be. And one of the areas I think we all talked about and focused on was juveniles and young people in the state, and wanting to make sure that we're making those investments there, both to prevent crime, but also to ensure that they are going down the right path in life. So I would encourage us all to continue these conversations, which I know we will do across the state. Great to be in this beautiful building, soon a ribbon cutting on, but another important sign of the investments made in public safety when you look at this beautiful building. And again, I just want to thank my partners in government, community partners, because that includes, we had folks from the Boys and Girls Clubs and the Y here as well. Those are really important community partners, especially when you're talking about intervening with some of our young people. And I want to thank the men and women in law enforcement who are out there every single day, working hard to make our neighborhoods and our communities safe. We are proud of you, we are grateful to you, and you have the support of our administration. And now I'd like to turn this over to Colonel Jeff Noble, who is doing a great job leading our Massachusetts State Police. Colonel Noble.
Thank you, Governor. A few minutes ago, we had the opportunity to spend some time with a great team of local and state partners, each of whom are committed to making Massachusetts safe for everyone. I want to share a few brief observations about the conversation. As we face the complex challenges of the moment, the Healey-Driscoll administration's vision is clear: to build strong partnerships, to stay engaged in community programs, and to deliver services that make a difference. That means programs like the MSP Teams program, where troopers mentor young people through athletics. It means trauma-informed response of our police officers and our troopers when dealing with crime victims and their families. And it means data-driven enforcement, where state and local police come together based on data to devise strategies that are effective at deterring and stopping crime and removing illegal weapons and narcotics, and to deliver strong cases to our prosecutors. The results speak for themselves. Massachusetts continues to lead the nation. Thanks to the women and men in our respective agencies, we continue to meet and exceed the highest standards our residents have come to expect. With that said, success is not only about numbers, it's about trust, earned day after day, interaction after interaction between law enforcement, service providers, and the community. That trust is what makes progress possible. Those of us who put our hand up and accepted these jobs of public service, the troopers, officers, professional staff, service providers, elected officials that you see here today, we work together every day to achieve great things for the communities that we all call home. We appreciate the opportunity to share our experiences with the governor and illustrate the power of working together to meet the evolving needs of the Commonwealth in making our communities safe. And with that, it is my honor to turn it over to introduce my colleague and our host for today's meeting, the Brockton Police Chief, Brenda Perez. Chief.
Good afternoon and welcome to Brockton, City of Champions. I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Mayor Sullivan, our local delegation, and today's guest. Thank you to our partners, the Mass State Police, the District Attorney's Office, for their continued support and collaboration through Project Safe Neighborhoods. Effective law enforcement is rooted in partnership, collaboration, and a shared purpose. We all want our community to be safe, we want our residents to be safe, and we want our city and our towns to be safe. Project Safe Neighborhoods stands as an example of what we can accomplish together. Every illegal firearm we take off the streets, every ounce of drug we take off the streets is potentially a life saved and a step towards making our community safer. We'll continue to build on this momentum and successes of Project Safe Neighborhood and other programs for our residents, for each of our residents, and for the city, and for our families. Again, thank you, Governor Healey, and I'd like to introduce Chief Del Monte.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Massachusetts Chiefs of Police Association, I want to say thank you, Governor Healey, for your work, and to your staff and administration. There were a couple of things that I heard today loud and clear and are very important for the safety of our communities, and that was coordination and collaboration. That's what I heard. That's what we appreciate as chiefs. Our responsibility is to our constituency locally, to our communities, and I'm very appreciative, and I know all of our police chiefs out there are very appreciative of that support that we have received from the administration, not only at the administrative level, but also at the operational level of the state police and the Executive Office of Public Safety as well. So we just want to say thank you very much for that support. We appreciate it and look forward to working with you in the future as well. So thank you, Governor.
Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it. Thank you. I know we're happy to take any questions on topic. Look, this funding is really important, and I've supported this kind of funding from the time I was Attorney General and certainly do now as Governor. Getting these kinds of grants out, we talked a lot about it today. The grants that go to support the actual police work, the prevention work, the work to support equipment and technology. You know, solving crime today, it needs to almost happen instantaneously. And I, as Governor, want to make sure that our men and women have the very best in terms of updated equipment to help them meet that moment. So this is funding that I will continue to support, and I'm grateful to the members of the legislature for their support of this funding. I invite Undersecretary Gina Kwan to say more about this and the specifics of this funding, but know that I will do everything that I can to make sure that funding for PSN continues, because we see the value of it. I just talked about the value in the last 6 months alone. Really, really important that this funding continue, and, we'll do everything that we can. Do you want to say anything more about that? Or anyone from the office about the PSN funding?
The Commonwealth, this is a state grant program that it's all state funding that was actually instituted under Governor Healey's leadership. 2023 was the first year that we had the Commonwealth Project Safe Neighborhood Initiative that is managed out of our Office of Grants and Research, which is a subset of the Executive Office of Public Safety.
I think as I approach my first year here, before I talk about what's needed, let me talk about what I see, and that is strong partnerships. I see an incredible partnership that, in my opinion, is the best in the nation from my experience. The partnership, the collaboration, and the seamless communications between the state police, our local partners, is seamless as far as from an operational standpoint. We are working together, and that is outstanding. I think from a going forward partnership, we all understand that resources are and equipment and technology, which is exactly what the PSN is an avenue, and it's an opportunity for us. I think any police chief nationally would say we in this moment we can always utilize people, technology, equipment, those things, which is exactly what is provided through this grant opportunity.
And I think a little bit about what do we need. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on right now, and I agree with the Colonel that the men and women who do this work, no finer anywhere in the country. That said, there are some challenges out there. I'm particularly focused, and I think we all are, on what's happening with our young people, right? Juveniles, shootings, acts of violence. We see it around the country. That's something that we really want to make sure we are all over as a state, and having conversations about the best way to combat and prevent those issues. I think continued focus on issues of mental health and drug addiction, right? That's something that I've long been about and supported from my time as Attorney General, and we still see those issues, and we need to support resources there. And then the other thing is this: we actually need more folks signing up to be police officers, going to the academy, joining law enforcement. It is a wonderful career. You can change people's lives. You can have such a positive impact. And my message to the public is, this is a great career. This is a great and honorable profession. And so I put a general call out there in light of some of the staffing shortages that we're seeing around the country. But here in Massachusetts, I just encourage people to consider a career in public safety, a career in policing, a career in law enforcement, and know that you will have something to do. You'll have the ability to do something really positive and really powerful. And I know the strain that men and women are under right now, and I want to try to address some of those staffing shortages. And this is my first PSA, okay? PSA to folks around Massachusetts. Think about law enforcement as a career. Okay. Thank you.